If I was broke, this is what I would do. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be exploring something quite interesting, a couple of videos that I've seen floating around, basically explaining if they were broke, what they would do to get them back up to this level. Now that's exactly what I'm going to be doing in today's video, basically explaining exactly step by step what I would do if I was broke, if I lost it all, if I had nothing, to get myself back up to this level. And I know this is going to be really, really interesting for a fair few of you. So definitely continue watching right to the end because there's a lot of information I'm going to give you in this video. But before we get started, if you haven't already, please do give it a big, big thumbs up and also subscribe as well for more Etsy and handmade business tips and tricks. And also do not forget to get the free workbook, 76 pages worth, 30 days to a kick butt Etsy shop. That is free as well, and the link for that is in the description box. But I'm going to be looking at my phone just to kind of get, I've taken a lot of notes, I'm not going to lie. I did go a little bit overboard with this video. So the very, very first thing I would do is I would work a job to get money behind me. Now I did actually do this myself. I worked a job that I didn't like, that I kind of hated, but what it did is it did the job. It enabled me to get money behind me so that I could start my business, and I knew that I had some funds behind me. Even if it was just like £100 a month, whatever it was, it just enabled me to make sure that I had that money behind me for things like supplies, graphic design, anything that I really needed. So that is something that I would have done first. I would then really research my target market and actually really get in depth about a problem that they have. So I would go into Facebook groups, I'd go into forums, I'd go into all sorts of places, and I'd really, really have an in-depth look into who they are as a person and what pain points they have. So I'd become a little bit of a fly on the wall in these Facebook groups and the forums and lots of places online where you can really research these people. But I would really become a fly on the wall and I would listen, I would take note. I'd take note on the kind of things they found amusing, the memes they posted, the kind of posts that got the most engagement, the common questions they were asking. And I really write everything down. I really get a little bit creepy almost and really get to grips with who these people are and the pain points that they would have. I'm interrupting my very own video to bring to you the news that there is a brand spanking new webinar. This webinar is called How to Increase Your Etsy Conversion Rate. It is literally the most helpful webinar training I have ever created. So it is completely free. If you go in the link in the description box below, you can secure your place in this live training webinar. I cannot wait to see you in there, and let's get back to the video. Then what I would do is that I'd actually create a product based around all of my research. It's really, really important to get the research right and actually really make sure that you know exactly who your target market is. And I'd actually create a product based around the customer's pain point. So this is why it's really, really important to really listen and really become essentially acquainted with your target audience. And it's quite interesting because 9 times out of 10, when you start a business, you are actually part of your target audience. And that's what I've done throughout my life. Every business that I've ever started has really come from a pain point that I personally have had, and therefore I've actually become part of my own target market. So it could be something that, you know, you do heavily research yourself and you find out that you have the same problem as well. So definitely what I would do is I'd research the pain points, I'd zoom in on that a little bit more, and I'd start to create a product based around those pain points and the way that you can help people satisfy those pain points. And it could be something as simple as, if you know of people that have a family Christmas coming up and their mums with 2-3 kids and they want that perfect family photo, it could be something as simple as photo filters, or it could be creating family-based t-shirts where they can all wear it and all have that cute family picture. It doesn't matter how you solve it, you've just got to make sure that you solve it, if that makes sense. So definitely I would heavily research what products I could personally create that would solve their pain point. The next thing I would do would be to start getting an audience behind me, and I would actually do that through YouTube and through Facebook groups. The reason I would use these two is because I think that they have become the most effective for most businesses. Now I heavily do promote Pinterest. I think Pinterest is amazing, but I would really only focus on two, and YouTube and Facebook groups would be where I would put my focus. So how I would do this is that I would start to create free content on YouTube. I would then filter those into a Facebook group, and also I would create a landing page like a holding page for my Etsy shop or my web store before I had even launched it. So even if you're 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months behind of actually launching something, I would begin to create content based around that target market's pain point and filter them into your Facebook group and into your email list. Because what that does is it enables you to actually have a ready list of people who are, number one, within your target audience, and number two, who have the pain point that you've designed the product to fix. So that is what I would do. I definitely recommend start to get an audience behind you, because when you launch, you know straight off the bat, you are going to start making sales. I would then also start blogging. If I hadn't started blogging already, I do recommend doing this quite early on. And it could be something as simple as you create a piece of content once and you reuse it for blog posts, YouTube, Facebook posts, whatever it is. So what I would do is that I would create a video, I would then make a blog post out of that video, and then I would make social media graphics based off of that blog post. So it's really just one piece of content being recircled around. And I know this doesn't sound like something that a handmade business would want to do, but actually it is. And it is something that a lot of handmade business owners miss. They miss out on the fact that you can use content marketing, which is a fancy way of saying creating free content to funnel people into your email list and your Facebook group. Handmade businesses can actually use that themselves as well, and that is something that I personally missed, and a lot of people still do miss to this day. So I would definitely say YouTube, Facebook groups, and blog content for at least a couple of months before you launch, and you will be away when you do. The next thing I would do would be to actually launch my shop, and I'd make sure to prep my audience a good few weeks beforehand, tell them that something is coming, tell them that my shop is coming, and launch to that audience. Not really a lot I can say about this. I have got loads of videos on my channel telling you how to, make your shop the best it can be and everything like that. So I'm not going to go too deep into it here, but I would certainly launch my shop. And then what comes next is really, really interesting. So what I would do is I would listen to the feedback that I would be getting from my customers. Is it too big? Is it too small? Is it the wrong color? Is that page not quite working for people? Does that t-shirt not quite fit in with the color scheme? Really listen to people's feedback, and then I would pivot based on that feedback. The problem is that you're never going to know exactly what that feedback is until you launch, and you're not going to launch until you have that target market ready and waiting for you. So it all kind of piggybacks off of each other, and the only way you can pivot towards getting your product to be the best it can be is by launching and getting that feedback in the first place. The next thing I would do would be to get my listings to convert really, really well. Now I have actually got a free webinar for you. It's like an hour long. It's such valuable training. I give all my good stuff away for free. That is in the description box below, but I would make sure that my listings convert really, really well. And the reason for this is, number one, it triggers the algorithm in a really big way in your favor. And number two, it enables every single person that visits your listings to be converted in the best way they could. Not everyone's going to buy, but if you raise that conversion rate, you don't need any more people looking at your store. You're just increasing the quality of your listings and therefore your conversion rate. So I would definitely go and have a look at that training if you haven't already. And yeah, it is really, really valuable, and that is what I would do next. So once I've got my listings to convert really, really well, I've got a prime target audience ready and waiting, I would then start using ads. And I use Etsy ads and offsite ads, and I may even use Facebook ads as well, but for the purposes of this video, let's just use Etsy ads and Facebook ads. Now I have got a video on my channel talking about offsite ads and do Etsy ads work. They will be on my channel somewhere, so go and have a look for those. But yeah, that is something that I would do. Etsy ads is like adding fuel to the fire, and if you've only got listings that convert well already, then that's when you want to start using ads, because what that will do is that will enable your listing to be seen by more people. And because your listings convert well already, because you've gone and watched that webinar training, that will mean that actually you will naturally get more sales. So it's one thing getting organic sales, and that's brilliant, but if you want to take it to the next level, then start using Etsy ads and Etsy offsite ads as well. The very next thing I would do, and this would be something that would completely catapult my success, would be invest in education. Now, I do have the Handmade Bosses Success Academy. It might not be open for enrollments yet. Do check on the page just to find out when it might possibly be open, but it does only open a few times a year. But that is my signature course. That is the take me by the hand strategy to find success on Etsy and beyond. We don't just talk about Etsy, we talk about wholesale and all sorts in there as well. So that would be what I would do. I would invest in education. The reason why I would invest in education is because if you invest in yourself, you are your biggest asset. There is a limitless amount of returns that you can get from developing the gaps in your knowledge. If you go and you invest in an investment account, let's say, you're probably going to get 4% back each year. If you invest in yourself, you're going to get multiple hundreds of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of pounds in return, because you are investing in yourself and you are limitless. You can do whatever you want, but you just need to have the knowledge behind you. So that would be why I would invest in education. And essentially, guys, that is all I would do to get to the stage where I am at now. I've really just described the steps that I have done, and also there's a few in there that I didn't do that I wish I had done. So I hope that was really helpful for you. If it was, please leave a comment, please give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe obviously if you haven't already. You're watching this and you're not subscribed, what are you doing? But for now, guys, I shall catch you in the next video. Bye everyone.